Okay. Hi, my name is Dion Prince, and I'm a photographer. My background is I use different visual form to create like an image. So my main medium is photography, but I like to incorporate scanning, graffiti, anything that has to do with like even painting, any other visual forms to create like a new image because I come from a background of a graphic designer. That was my first medium. I went to a high school, was in French, a Catholic high school, but it was concentrated in technology. So I got to experience how to do videos, create posters, logos. I was mostly interested in logos and posters. But yeah, when I decided to get into photography, it was more of a challenge for me. And I really wanted it to be an artistic form, not just like a photography. So I felt like distorting the image on Photoshop and adding other mediums helped that. And it's also the fact that, like, growing up, my dad was a videographer. And so I would always watch him like take videos of everything and anything, also take photographs. So I was really interested in that and it intrigued me. So that's what really like opened the door to my artistic journey. I first started, it wasn't really serious, but when I was seeing my dad, I just decided to do like my own series. But I used Sims, and it was really like at that time I was having fun. But sometimes I look back at those videos and I'm like, what was I thinking? I like privated most of the videos. It's just for my eyes only, but it really did help me develop my journey, my artistic journey. Yeah. For my creative process, I think it really depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm in a mood where I don't really feel like being deep or anything. It's just I'm inspired by what's around me, what I'm looking at, what I'm watching, like as a TV show. So, by example, one of my first collage, it was inspired by The Matrix because I had this phase where I watched like all the Matrix movies. And so I was really interested in that and I just decided to make an artwork about it, but it didn't have a deep meaning. But there's like I started going to school and decided to like put more meaning into it. So recently I'm more into expressing like telling a story of my life through my photography. So I'll basically just wake up, think deeply about what really um, marked me growing up and what can help others with my art. So that's basically my thought process when I come up with a project now. That's what happened with my school end of the year project. We had to come up with a like portfolio. So I decided to do it on sickle cell. At first, it was about hair because it was at a time where I really wanted to shave my hair. So I was like, okay, I feel like everyone relates, every black woman relates to that. When you're done of you're tired of paying for a hairstyle and you just don't want to do anything with your hair. It's like it's something that really not really inspired, but I feel like everyone can relate. So yeah, it was about hair first, but then I decided to go even bigger and share the story about sickle cell because I was born with sickle cell anemia, and so I really wanted to bring awareness. I'm aware that like some of the Black community know about sickle cell, but there's a lot more like non-Black people that don't know about it. And I really also wanted to bring awareness to chronic illness. It's a huge part of my life. Like it's something I can't escape. So I thought it was a great idea to come up with this project. But yeah, that was my thought process. I was really thinking about the big picture. Um, like what could help people, because I know that a lot of people with sickle cell, they often feel alone and not heard, especially like me growing up. When I would tell people I have sickle cell, even my best friend, they didn't know how serious it was. They thought, like, even one of my friends, I made a post about sickle cell prior to my project, just explaining what it is, and she DM'd me and she was like, "Oh, I my friend had sickle cell, but I thought she was over exaggerating." And I was like, "This is why I wanted to do a project, because on sickle cell, because I felt like a lot of the time people don't understand. Like my best friend, recently I got hospitalized in Montreal and he was with me. We're going out for just a fun weekend between friends, and he saw how much in pain I was, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't think it was like that. I thought it was just like muscle pain, like stretching, but he didn't think it was really like to the point where I couldn't move." So yeah, it really, this project was special to me because this is like the message that I want to give to people. Um, yeah, I'm inspired by the hip hop community, so a lot of my work is graffiti, and in that sense, I feel like it adds a meaning to the image that I take. But I feel like if it's not like graffiti and I use collage, it also helps enhance the meaning of my project. By example, the sickle cell project called Warriors. Obviously, I cannot put pins on people, like that hurts. So what I did, I just made a collage and I used pins on top of the image. Like I printed the image and stabbed some pins on like my shoulders and on some ribbons that I had in the image. And it added a lot more meaning to the image because the I felt like I was in a pose where I was obviously in pain, but I felt like it added even more impact and kind of a story of the intensity of the pain. For me personally, it was very eye opening because I remember working on the project, the Warriors project, and at first I was really excited to um, showcase a part of me, but at one point I was like, oh my God, this is me being so vulnerable. And it really made me think deeply about why I was doing this project. And I was like, okay, it's not about me. I have to put myself like, I have to put myself in other people's shoes. And so I decided to continue with the project. And I also thought that it will help me be more vulnerable to speak about it, because growing up, um, it's not that my mom was ashamed of it, but she did not want people to know that I had sickle cell for some reason. It was just something that she didn't talk about. Most of my family didn't know until I posted that I was in the hospital, like when I was maybe, I think, 14 or something. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. But it was eye opening. Yeah, the fact that my family didn't know, I felt proud of myself because I spoke about it on my own terms and by myself, and it made me realize how I shouldn't be ashamed to have sickle cell, because um, there's some communities that as soon as they learn that someone has sickle cell, they're like, oh no, don't, I don't want my son or my kids to be involved with her or him. And so it brings a lot of like shame. There's even some people that don't want to tell like anyone that they have sickle cell. So for me to go out my way and make a project about sickle cell and just put myself out there, I felt like it was liberating. I felt like it just helped me come to terms with the fact that I have it and it's okay. Like I can still live a normal life. I can still enjoy the little things in life. I don't have to constantly be on the guard and just hate myself basically because that is something that's out of my control. So yeah, that's how it was eye opening for me. I think it has evolved. It has evolved because at first I was just doing collages. It wasn't really my own images. And now I take my own images and transform them, which I find cool. There's also the fact that there's more meaning behind it. Yeah, but at first it was more experimental, so it was just fun. I didn't take anything seriously, but I find that now, going forward, there's a lot more meaning. Like, it's also because of school. So, uh, in 2019, I believe, yeah, I decided to apply for the School of Photographic Arts in Ottawa, and I felt that school really helped me uh, have a bigger perspective on my art, not making it just fun. Because prior to applying, my method to create art was really like I'll ask my friend if they wanted a photo shoot, and I'd just go outside and shoot. But there's like I it's when I was editing that I had really had a picture of what I really want to do and what's the meaning behind it. But school really helped me analyze my photography. I got to experience other methods of photography. There's like so many genre. Like there's documentary, there's portrait, there's landscape, there's fashion, editorial. So I felt like my direction has aesthetically developed, and also the meaning behind it also developed as well. I did a project, a barbershop series, and I felt like that's when I really realized that okay, my art is changing. At first, I didn't really like it because I was like, oh, it's so different than what I used to do. But it made me realize how much I like it because it was more of a documentary style. And what I did is I went to a beauty salon in Orleans called the M's Beauty Salon, and I just interviewed the clients and the stylist, the hairstylist, and I took photographs and we talked about hair and our journey behind it. And there was one story that really like marked me, and she was saying it was a client. She was saying how she had trouble like liking her hair growing up until now. She would use perm and then she would go back to natural when it was really popular, and then again go back to perm. And she says that it's really a journey because she's still trying to love her hair in its natural form, but it is hard. So um, when I shot those images while she was getting her hair braided, um, when I shot these images and edited it, I realized how powerful the message behind it is, and I also got to practice that style because I wasn't that good in photography. Like the lighting wasn't perfect and everything, but the message behind it made it even more beautiful and like candid. So I decided to still to improve. It made me improve my photography even more. Like I learned more about the technique of lighting, editing, and then I went on to do another project with my nephew and his best friend, and it was for a portrait module at school. And I just wanted to capture their like brotherhood because it's very cute. Like they're very like much best friend. They call each other brothers and everything. And so when I photographed them, I got to um, practice shooting in a studio setting because I was used to mostly doing um, outdoors photo shoots. So that's another way that my art improved, and I feel like it changed because now I'm more a studio photographer than outdoors. I feel like it's like more controlled environment, and the image comes out way better. So yeah, I feel like it's very different from where I began because it wasn't the best. It really wasn't the best. Like I was more focused on the graphic side than the actual photography. And even my editing style, I used to only use Lightroom, and then I decided to go on Photoshop because that's how my school worked, and I found that I learned so much more. My editing is way better. Uh, like I developed a style through going to school, and yeah, I really enjoyed that process. I feel like I came through a lot of challenges. There's the fact that, first of all, it's expensive. So that was a challenge that I had to learn basically how to navigate and like basically because of the financial situation, I had to basically make it like a second priority because I had to find a full time job to be able to afford my photography. And that was really a challenge because I felt like I was giving my all to another job instead of being able to create and expand my work. And so I had really a phase where it's not that I wanted to quit, but I was really in the state where I was like, is it worth it? Because I was really exhausted. I didn't want to get sick because of it, but I refused to give up on it because it's also like the people around me, they really saw the potential in me. So it kind of pushed me to continue toward that aspect. Other than that, it was just, I had difficulty working with people. Like, I love portrait, I love documentary style, like, I love working with people, meeting people. But I felt that um, sometimes the vision were getting blurred because when I came up with a vision and I would ask a model to work with me, she would, well, they would. I mostly work with women now that I realize, but yeah, they would like kind of uh, turn my vision to something that it's not. And then I would be like, okay, well, I'm a people pleaser, so I felt really bad. So sometimes I would be like, okay, yeah, it's a good idea, let's go with it. But then I wouldn't be satisfied with the end result because it's not really the vision that I wanted and the message that I wanted to give. So I had to learn to really set boundaries um, and be direct and come up like when I have a vision, like just be very direct, straight, and say like exactly what I want from the images. I do accept like some feedback. I feel like that's great as long as it doesn't like um, erase my the meaning of my photography. Then I'm open to like suggestions. But it was really hard for me. It was at the point that I really didn't want to work with people, but I'm like, that's my main medium. Like, that's my main um, area of photography. So I really had to learn how to balance, like, pleasing people, but also putting my vision as a priority. Like, and I feel like in Ottawa, it's really hard to find clients. Like a lot of the times when people DM me, it's like they want a collaboration, and I'm happy to do a collaboration, but it comes to the point that I ended up losing way more money. I wouldn't be making money if I only accept collaborations. So I felt like it was really hard to navigate through that. Like even now, I'm dealing with it, and I feel like there's not really a way to go around it. I just have to say no to people, which I really hate, especially when the vision is really cool. But it's like I need to eat, you know? So, um, yeah, so it's like by example, um, like one model, I basically made an Instagram story asking if someone wanted to model, and I had a vision, and then I was like, okay, let's see where it takes me. It was one of my first time that I actually did a post. Usually I go towards people and ask. And then someone volunteered and I was really happy and I explained my vision to her. And then one night, when the day arrived, it became a completely different thing. I had to do a photo shoot for her album cover, and I was like, it's another story. And I was like, oh my God, I still did it because at the time I was like, I don't know how to say no. And then at the end, she didn't even end up taking, like, she didn't want the photos. So it's like I wasted my time. And it happens a lot of the time. Like when I end up doing free photo shoot, free editing, a lot of the time, because it's free, they don't seem to want to post it. They don't care about it. That really opened my eyes. I was like, okay, I'm done taking in collaboration because this is what happens. And um, I feel like also the fact that my mentors and also my friend that's into photography, they navigate another way. They at least ask for some form of like compensation, whether it's like getting an Uber to the location or food or a service. So I felt like talking to my neutrals or the art community helped me kind of get new ideas on ways to do free photo shoot that can help me and not just like um, put me down and like make me waste a bit of time. Um, yeah, I think those that challenge was really something that I still battle with, and it's getting better because now that I graduated, I feel like people actually take it seriously. Like it's not just me taking photos; it's me coming up with projects. They're paying basically for my knowledge and what I learned and my expertise. So I felt like now I get more people that contact me for to hire me basically. So yeah, those are the challenges. I feel like there's no balance for now. Like I'm really taking my time. I guess it's a form of balance because before I used to be like, okay, I have to come up with something this month. Like every month, every week, I was trying to figure out how I'm going to do a photo shoot, how I'm going to create a project. And now I'm really taking my time. I feel like quality is better than quantity. So um, that's really how I balance my like work and the aspect of art being a healing. I feel like also now I'm concentrating more into using art as healing. So I feel like now um, I prefer to work to put myself first because um, with school it was healing. My project about sickle cell was healing, but it took a lot of my time. I didn't get to do any other project than that. So now I really am on a journey where I do what I want when I want. And that's why right now I'm not rushing myself. I really want to enjoy making art, because I felt like there was a point where I was just done with art. I was like, oh my God, I'm doing so much that it's getting a bit exhausting. It's also like when I would do photo shoots for clients, like it's not really my vision too. So it kind of put a toll on me, because I was really thinking whether or not being a photographer is a good path, because it is, when I do it for myself, it's very therapeutic. There's no pressure behind it. I just get to do what I want, um, the ideas that I want. But when others aren't involved, I felt like there was a bit of pressure that I have to be very professional. The image has to be excellent, and then I would be really hard on myself critiquing my art. And others would be like, it's really beautiful, but for me, it's like it's not beautiful enough. So that really put things into perspective. And I feel like this year I'm really going to focus on my own project. Um, and I feel like that's normal. I feel like we should have some times where we do work for others, and then maybe in like 3 months that you just do art for yourself. So I feel like that's how I'm going to work from now on. Like it's okay to not always accept work, basically, like especially if it's not your vision. If you it's not if you if you know that it's not like your the client, what they're asking for, it's not really your art style, then it's okay to like just let it go. And you can what I do is I usually tell them to, like, I guide them toward another photographer and artist that would be better with their vision. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of ways to go behind between like art as healing and just like a professional um, aspect of your artistry. So this is something that I feel like every artist are still working on it, no matter how much of an expert you are. Like there's some people that I know that their work is really good. Like that's where I want to be right now. But even then, they have to take a break, and they have to put their work first. They have to finish some project that you they worked on before and didn't finish. Um, so yeah, speaking about this, I feel like there's also like there was a point of pressure where I had to finish work that I shot, but never, like it's been a year that I didn't edit it. And then I remember talking with another artist, and they were like, what makes you think that you have to finish it now? Like it's okay to take your time with art. It's also the fact that when you rush it, you're never satisfied with it. Like you can't rush art. So um yeah, I've come at peace with that, and that's really how I'm moving right now. One that I would say really marked me was when I did the project with my nephew and his best friends. It is titled "Do You Remember?" I remember having fun, first of all, while shooting it. I felt like, I don't know, it really made me happy to see my nephew and his best friend just really enjoying their company. At one point, they were mad at each other. And then the next thing you know, they're just back to being super happy. And I took them to eat. And it's like that day I really had fun. And when I showed the project to my classmates and they encouraged me to submit it to the Ottawa Art Gallery, they had an exhibition titled How I Love You. I did, and then I got accepted to that, and I got to show just images of like pure brotherhood, and I felt like that was a point where I was like, okay, I really enjoy this. I felt in my element. Even my sister was like, oh, I love talk because at the opening I was just talking about it and talking to everyone, and she would mention how she loved me seeing me in my element basically. And I was like, oh, I didn't even notice. And that made me realize how much I loved it and how much like good memories I got from that. It's not it's not like traumatic. It's not something that brought me pain. It's something that brought me joy. And so I really felt like it was therapeutic in that moment. Um, it's also in that same exhibition, there was also one of the artwork from the journey project that I did, the one with the in the beauty salon. It got accepted to that, and so I was also talking about um, my hair journey, and it was really interesting that in the opening of the How I Love You exhibition, like a lot of Black women, even Black men came up to me, and we were really discussing about the black hair, and what unfortunately, traumatic events happened to them. And so we were really like encouraging ourselves to continue with our hair. And we were talking about how it's okay if we do protective hairstyle, it's okay to do locks, we shouldn't be scared to do locks. Like it really brought like an insight, um, some insight about my hair. It also was very healing for me because growing up, I really have like coarse hair, and so I would constantly be reminding how hard it is to work with my hair. Even till this day, sometimes like I go to hairstylists and they want to charge me extra for my hair, and I'm like, okay. And it really makes me feel bad about my hair. Like I really didn't like my hair. I used to always wear braids, and then one time I even cried because my parents didn't want to bring me to a braider. And my dad was like, why don't you wear it natural? You look beautiful. But for me, I thought I wasn't beautiful, especially because I was surrounded by a predominantly white community. So, like, the way they would just play with my hair like it's a game and everything, it really wasn't, it didn't bring me joy. So, the fact that at that exhibition, like, we really talked about this and there was some words of encouragement, how beautiful our hair is at that point. Um, it really inspired me to continue my hair journey and to love my hair and to style it. Like I remember I removed my hairstyle like a few weeks after and I decided to rock the natural hair. And I really liked it. I enjoyed the experience. So that was a success for me. And it was also healing. So um, and one of the artwork, I was speaking to one of a curator at the Ottawa Art Gallery in the How I Love You exhibition, and she really enjoyed my work, and now it's up in the 83 Till Infinity exhibition at the Ottawa Art Gallery, and it's there until February of 2024. So that was that's my first year long exhibition at the Ottawa Art Gallery. So I was really proud of myself. That's like a milestone for me in my career and something that I will never forget because it gave me the opportunity to um, talk about my experience with my hair and also share the beautiful images that I took of the barbershop, the beauty salon. Yeah, it was really, really healing and eye opening, and I enjoyed every moment of it. Like just meeting my community, showcasing my community in a beautiful way. That really brought me joy. Yeah. So I feel like it connects with people because it's the conversation that I get from showing my artwork that matters the most. I feel like every time I have a meaningful image up at a gallery and I talk to it with my community or just random people, it always brings up conversation that needs to be discussed. By example, like I said, the Journey project. Um, I met this girl and she was talking about how her hair, like she didn't want to lock it, but now she locked it because she thinks that it's beautiful. But beforehand, she really didn't think it was beautiful. She was scared to do it. She was thinking about how, like, not how, but like, she was thinking about, well, yeah, how she will look with it, how if she'll feel pretty, if she'll like feel beautiful because with deluxe, there's like the ugly stage that every girl does not want to go through. And so for her, she just did it one day and it happened. But I really like those are stories that I enjoy hearing. I feel like it was also therapeutic for her because she was talking about her journey. She was being open about it. And I feel like it even reflects like it reflects how she'll moving forward. And I feel like she could like my artwork makes people talk about their journey with hair or even chronic illnesses like my warrior series. I was taking videos at the Ottawa gallery and then I saw like two individuals looking at my work and I told them it was about sickle cell and they were really happy about it because they also have a chronic illness and so they thought it was really inspiring to just um, have an artwork that's about chronic illness because it's not something that a lot of people discuss. And so we just started talking about it, about chronic illnesses. We started talking about art forms, and I also got to meet interesting people that way. So yeah, no matter what shade you are, I feel like it helps. My art helps me connect with people that can help me grow, and that's exactly what it did. Especially like recently, uh, the two individual that I met, like they really inspired me to continue with my artistic journey. They gave me pointers on what school I should go to next, and they even one of them even said that she'll be happy to help me develop my skills because I wanted to get into ceramic, and she said that she's been doing it for years and she's happy to help. So there's definitely a connection with my artwork. I feel that's a tough question because I feel like I'm all over the place. At one point, one of my um, artist statement was that I really wanted to showcase the Black Canadian community in their purest, joyful elements. But I felt like that was my artist statement for like years, at least 2 years or three. And then now I'm more going to a direction where I talk about like trauma basically. So I feel like that's where I'm going now. Like I really want to give more of myself. I really want to tell a story with my project. But I know myself. I go back to my old statement. So I'm really thinking of like expanding the hair um, project. I'm thinking of going to other salons and getting more stories. And yeah, so potentially having my own exhibition for that series specifically. That's one of my goals. But for now, I was really thinking to um, talking more about diaspora, diaspora and also like the Haitian and Nigerian community. because I'm half Haitian and Nigerian, and I felt like I lost a bit of the identity growing up in Canada because now I don't know my dad's language. He's the one that's Nigerian. I don't know the language. I don't speak Creole. Like I know some words, I understand it perfectly, but I don't really speak it. So every time I say that to people, they're like, "Oh, you're fake Haitian," and I'm just like, "I'm sorry, I didn't really grow up like being taught that. They were just my family would just speak in that language, but they wouldn't tell me to like talk back in Creole or in Edo. So there was also like the fact that being half Haitian and Nigerians, like they don't like each other. They really don't. So I feel like that also impacted the fact that I didn't learn more much about the culture is because it's something that basically don't talk about because in my family, like they did not like that my mom went with the Nigeria at all. So, yeah, I feel like bringing that story through visual form will be really interested. So I'm really thinking about how to bring it up and what exactly would be the project. Um, but that's what I'll be working on the near future this year. Those are the two projects that I would say I'm looking forward to, and that's the direction that I'm going. But I also want to take like more just aesthetically pleasing not videos, photographs. So I'm just going to learn how to have fun, but also tell my story. So yeah. If they're looking to just learn as a form of therapy, I would say that just make art. Like, don't think too much about it. Don't really think that you need so many equipments. Like, most of the most beautiful arts that are made out of like cheap stuff. So, that's the first thing I would say. Like, whatever you have around you, just make art with it. And that's the fun behind it. If you go out your way to like start buying super expensive things, it doesn't really, it takes away the joy. So yeah. And I'll also say to go out and go to events that are specifically like artistic and meet more artistic individuals. I feel like talking about your art is also something that's therapeutic and healing, and you'll learn a lot from just speaking with other artists. Like I've learned how to stop having imposter syndrome. Like I always doubt myself, but just speaking with other artists um, uh, really helped my artistry. It really pushed me to continue and to do the best that I can and not be too hard on myself. So that I feel like is really important, and you never know who you're gonna meet. Maybe you'll do a collaboration with them, and then it'll end up being a project that will be in an art gallery. Like that's like most of my project. A lot of my project it was just for school or for fun, but it ended up being in an art gallery, and so you really don't know who you're gonna meet. Um, I would say I feel like you don't need to go to school for art, but you do meet a lot of creatives that have some of the same values as you. So it's definitely not something like that shouldn't be done. I feel like maybe if you're trying to be serious about it, going to school will help definitely. I feel like you don't have to do a 4 year program though. I feel like 2 years, 2 years is really good, but three max. I feel like you'll learn a lot during those 2, 3 years. and it doesn't have to be like university or college or like whatever inspires you, you just take it and continue because at the end of the day, like I feel like if you put too much pressure on yourself and decide to go to like a prestigious school, I feel like it impact your work. Like the thing about school is like they restrict your ideas, so it's not always so fun about it. But if you do like a program that you really enjoy, I feel like it'll be a bit more fun. Like for me, that's what happened with school. I was in a graphic design program at the University of Quebec on Ottawa, and I did enjoy it because first it was really restricting. It was a specific product you couldn't really go out the box. So I thought I really did not like graphic design, but when I went into School of Photographic Arts in Ottawa, I realized that I enjoyed the program. Like I enjoyed going to school. It was still hard. Like school is still hard, but at least I enjoyed it. It's not. It did not make me as sad and depressed as my other program. So that's when I realized that um, you really have to try out things, and as soon as you feel like that you're being restricted, I would say to kind of look into what you want to, your end goal, and decide from there, like whether you want to go somewhere else, whether you want to teach yourself, really do what makes you happy. Yeah. Sure. All right. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it and see you next time.